Tasi Road, and on Victoria Mall, Entebbe, on the first floor.
Hello, Kampala, Uganda. In response to the national call of strengthening the traffic security, Good Products Group HGO brand has officially launched the Rider Selection Campaign. Registration is now open. Visit www.riders.hgo.com. Complete your registration now for a chance to win exciting prizes including motorcycles, exclusive HGO gift boxes, and official rider vests, all while promoting safe riding awareness. This is how to participate. Pay the registration fee, invite 3 friends to form a team of 4, and your registration fee will instantly be refunded. Begin your journey of honor today. Don't miss this opportunity. Join the challenge, promote road safety, and become a pioneer rider. For details, visit the official Good Products website at www.hgo.com or call toll-free 0800-335-555 or visit our offices at Kingdom Kampala 3rd floor to register now and win prizes worth millions.
The Namukekera Industrial Trade Show and Bazaar is back. Bigger, better, and bolder. Brought to you by Namukekera Rural Industrial Center and Operation Wealth Creation under the theme Driving Industrialization for Sustainable Growth from Thursday 28th to Saturday 30th August 2025 at the amazing Liaoshen Industrial Park, Kapeka. Chief guest is General Salim Saleh, Chief Coordinator of Operation Wealth Creation. Entrance is 2,000 shillings per day. Are you a business owner, school administrator, or someone who loves to support local products? This is your event. Enjoy crazy discounts on quality items from Liaoshen Industrial Park and other authentic Ugandan exhibitors from across the country. Stylish fashion garments, shoes and bags, sleek mobile phones and electrical appliances, beautiful ceramics, tiles, durable agriculture tools and equipment, mouth-watering dried mangoes and pineapples, plus so much more. Don't miss performances from Uganda's top artists. To exhibit, call Kapeka, the center for all your quality products.
At UNOC, we believe in safety.
When you want to relax your body and refresh your mind, welcome to Hotel La Confidential, Aroa's premier destination for luxury and comfort. The only hotel in Aroa City offering a serene atmosphere, breathtaking scenery. Come and discover our exclusive wellness club with packages that include a fully equipped gym, a rejuvenating sauna, steam bath, and a great sky blue swimming pool. For events, our state-of-art conference halls and versatile event spaces are perfect for hosting shows, wedding receptions, birthdays, and more. Come and enjoy our cinema hall and unisex saloon, all designed to meet your entertainment and grooming needs. Bring your family and let your kids splash around in our beautiful kids water park. We are located on Aroa Pakwachi Highway in the heart of Aroa City. Don't wait. Visit us on www.hotelconfidential.com or call us on 0761 688 181.
In a nation hungry for truth, a world where every story matters, there exists a beacon of trust and reliability. For decades, they've been our voice and our window to the world, holding the mirror of our history. With 4 TV stations and 11 radio channels spanning 27 languages, they stand as guardians of information, defenders of truth. With Mascari Heritage Advantage, they uphold every citizen's right to reliable and free information. Their archived stories shaped our past and illuminate our present. Yet now, as new challenges arise and the world evolves, their mission faces its greatest test yet. Be part of our journey and let's navigate the unknown, uncover the untold, and safeguard our future together. Tune into your public broadcaster, for it is the intersection of trust and truth. Because to UBC, your story, every story, and every voice matters. UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Hello, Kampala, Uganda. In response to the national call of strengthening the traffic security, Good Products Group HGO brand has officially launched the Rider Selection Campaign. Registration is now open. Visit www.riders.hgo.com. Complete your registration now for a chance to win exciting prizes including motorcycles, exclusive HGO gift boxes, and official rider vests, all while promoting safe riding awareness. This is how to participate. Pay the registration fee, invite 3 friends to form a team of 4, and your registration fee will instantly be refunded. Begin your journey of honor today. Don't miss this opportunity. Join the challenge, promote road safety, and become a pioneer rider. For details, visit the official Good Products website at www.hgo.com or call toll-free 0800-335-555 or visit our offices at Kingdom Kampala 3rd floor to register now and win prizes worth millions.
In all these years, we emphasize 2 words, wealth and jobs, and we try to waken our people up to show them where wealth and jobs come from.
The Parish Development Model, PDM, is a bold initiative that is reshaping Uganda's rural economy. By allocating 100 million shillings to each parish annually, PDM empowers households by unlocking opportunities for wealth creation.
This program will be maintained. Each year we send 100 million for the parish. If you get the 1 million, you can buy some goats, you can buy some pigs, you can buy even young cows.
Farmers are transitioning from subsistence farming to commercial agriculture, laying the groundwork for wealth creation and improved livelihoods.
This project started 11 years ago after an inspiration from His Excellency. And that time I was working as a taxi driver. I was doing that Massa business in Soroti, and he was talking about how to improve household income.
With the PDM, you bring back the money after 24 months, but in the 3rd year, you would get another 100 million paid back by those who got first.
The President's message is a mindset changer. Becoming rich does not mean you should have a lot of land, you should have a lot of education, you just need a vision and implement and start from where you are.
So therefore, this PDM is to get all of you out of poverty. That's why we said 100 million per parish per year.
This message is brought to you by the Ministry of ICT and National Guidance.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
A lovely morning to you once again. Thank you so much, because I know if you began your day with us at 6:30, I already said hello to you, I greeted you. But in case you've just joined us, thank you so much for joining UBC TV. This is the Extra, an extension of Good Morning Uganda, and I'm Robert Chirabo Nyonyi Intono. Now, today I'm going to be discussing matters of tax education. And I know even in the biblical days, many of you paying tax is something very hard for us, yet it's a noble cause for others and us to enjoy our country. Now this morning we are going to be discussing tax amendments of 2025-2026 VAT. And I have, that is the Acting Supervisor Tax Education, Hafswa Seguya, with me in studios from Uganda Revenue Authority. You're most welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Shirabo, and good morning, our viewers. As I've been introduced, I basically do tax education in the tax body, and we are here to dissect the amendments that came through for value-added tax as a tax type for this year, 2025-2026. Yes.
Now, to begin with, help us understand when you talk about value-added tax, what is this kind of tax?
Thank you so much. VAT is an indirect tax. It's a tax that you pay unknowingly in the amount of money you're paying for a particular item. I would say it's a consumption tax because whenever you consume an item or you consume a service, that is when it comes into play. And it is a multi-stage whereby it's borne by the final consumer. All those players in the chain of distribution of an item just keep passing it on until the last or the final consumer, that is the person who bears the tax burden.
Now let me get this clearly. If I'm importing something in the country, among the tax I pay, I don't pay VAT?
There is VAT.
There is VAT, but then I've not yet sold.
What happens at importation, you will pay import duties, you'll pay VAT, you'll pay withholding tax, and maybe infrastructure levy. At that particular time, we know you're importing and you're importing for business purposes. And you're VAT registered. So at the end of the day, as you clear that item and you've paid VAT within the import duties you've paid, we are very certain that you are going to put those items in your business, and at the end of the day, you will be furthering business. As you're selling the items, you'll add on an 18%. And at the end of the day, VAT is a self-policing tax. It is input-output ratio, where we look at the VAT on your expenses or purchases vis-a-vis the VAT on your sales. So that is what derives when you are paying or when you're even claiming a credit. Yes.
Well, we are still together, and I know by the end of, let me even call it a session, you have learned more regarding VAT, a tax that has disturbed a number of traders. Now, let's look at who is required to pay value-added tax.
Before we say who is required to pay, who is required to register? Ideally, when I am registering these clients in URA, for VAT, I look at a threshold. It's governed by a threshold. And the threshold for VAT is 150 million. If a particular business can source 150 million in a given year or in 12 consecutive months, then that means the duty to register for VAT has arisen. Or if that doesn't happen, we look at a quarterly test that in 3 consecutive months, can that business source 37.5 million as gross income, not as profits. And secondly, you should be dealing in taxable supplies. When I'm speaking about taxable supplies, I'm looking at those that are standard rated that pick VAT at 18%, and those that are zero rated that pick VAT at 0%.
Now,
so if all that happens,
we must go slow on these things. You're assuming you're speaking to those who know. Now let's speak to those who do not know.
Yes.
Because most of our traders, please don't take offense in this. These are things that someone understands on their behalf. And sometimes they're exploited. Now you want to break them down. You find a man who will tell you, zenalese containers zange bangambe ebintu banyinyonyola. Now let's assume, because the business community there, a number of them, we know who they are. Now when you are talking tax, they are concerned. Let's break thresholds, what they may not understand. So simply say, when we look at how much your business makes, at a total, then like that.
So I'm looking at you, the business person. If you look at your business in 12 months or in the year I operate in, that is the 1st July year up to 30th June. In that kind of year, that is the turnover. When you add up your sales for those 12 months, if you can make 150 million and above, that is when I come to register you. But when I come to register you VAT, I do not want VAT to eat up your capital. I do not want VAT to eat up your profit. When you're setting the amount, say, I am selling this phone when I look at all that I went through when I was purchasing these phones, the transport, all that and everything, I'm comfortably selling it at about 1.5. But because I'm VAT registered, I'll add on 18% on top of 1.5. So that when you are collecting the 18% on behalf of government, because when we register you for VAT, it's like you're an agent for government. I don't want the 18% to eat up your capital or to even eat up your profit. It is just collecting the 18%. Then at the end of the month, paint for me a picture on whatever you sold, how much VAT did you collect? And on what you expensed in your business that month, how much did you expense in? How much did you pay? So that will get a win-win situation. If you sold in your sales, if you have much more VAT than your purchases, then the difference is what you pay URA. But if your expenses, the VAT in your expenses is more than the VAT in your sales, then that is a credit on your side. It means that when you're filing the monthly return, you'll be in a position of a credit, whereby that month there is no payment, and we just tell you to push the credit on to the following month, and we see what will happen. But because, as you said, most of the players in the business need to get some more time to understand the tax type and its gymnastics, so that they do not make any error as they are trying to administer it. Because at times when they make an error, you find the tax coiling up in their profits, and they cannot differentiate. They think that VAT is eating up, yet because they are just collecting on behalf of government and passing it over.
Now, what does it mean if we are dealing in the same commodities, and mine I have to add VAT because I have that threshold of 150 million, and my competitor there is not in that? So does it then affect the business of this person? Because what you're selling, you're adding on the 18%.
Yes.
The other person is selling the same thing, but not adding on.
To somebody who is looking at it like that, the first thing you might say that it becomes more expensive. But are you aware that when you're VAT registered, you even have more opportunities of business? Because now it's a little difficult to supply big entities when you're not VAT registered. Because at the end of the day, the entity will tell you, the language I understand is give me the IFRS invoice. And when you're not VAT registered, in most cases, you may not even want to register for IFRS, to even issue an e-receipt. So the story becomes a little difficult. In a layman's perspective, that is what you first think. But the opportunities that you carry when you're VAT registered are more than somebody who is not VAT registered.
Well, now you get it that way. Now, let's go into that various types, would I call them, because when you listen to the traders, there are various types of VAT categories.
So in VAT, we have different types of supplies, because there are supplies that normally are exempted, and they're exempted maybe because by virtue of Parliament sitting and saying that maybe let's exempt this. For example, when we look at education services, the people who operate schools do not add 18% on the bank slip because the education service is exempted. And those who are operating hospitals, the medical services, they do not add 18% on that service. Whereas the medical equipment and the educational equipment are zero rated. Zero rated implies that you can register for VAT, but I will only be giving you or refunding you the VAT you have expensed. That is what it's meant to be. That is why in VAT we have three categories of supplies. We have those that are standard rated, the ones that pick VAT at 18%. We have those that are actually exempted. In fact, if you're dealing in exempted items, we don't even register you for VAT. Then there are those that are zero rated that we do register for VAT because we want to avail them a platform to claim for a refund in their expenses, in their business expenses. So those are the three categories we do have when it comes to VAT, the category of supplies that are available for them.
Now, how does one register for VAT?
Ideally, as when you look at most of our services, we are highly digitalized. I think we're about 98% digitalized. So when you are starting the VAT registration, you just visit our web portal on www.ura.go.ug. Reason why we need to go there, because it is a platform in which we communicate to our clients. We speak to them. You no longer need to come to an office every now and then whenever you need a service. You just sit where you are, get a machine that is enabled with internet, then you have your login credentials, that's your TIN and your password, then go on to our platform, that's the portal I've said. When you reach there, just look on the left-hand side up there, you have login, just click on login. It will create a pop-up window that will tell you to put your login ID, that's your TIN, and to put your password, so that you can open the account, then you will deliver what you want to tell us. Once you are there, and you look at the next page will give you another interface, where you look at your left-hand side, at the top there where you'll see registration, then you'll go to amendment. You need to put in an amendment in your registration details you actually gave us. When you open the form for amendments, you'll just check where there are tax types, and you'll need to include VAT. When you click on VAT, we'll ask you some questions. How much is your gross turnover? How much are the quarterly? How much is in standard rated? How much is in exempt? And how much is in zero rated? So they're just simple questions that you do answer, still online, then you submit online, so that we do not need to waste your time. Submit, continue with your business. As the task reaches us, it will be assigned to somebody who will call you to ask you that we have received this application, but we need to come and do an inspection, see where you work, and actually appreciate what is in the application. So that's when they'll call you and place an appointment with you, and you tell us your availability. That is when a team will come, a team of about 2 people, to actually confirm that if I said I work here, I work on Namaganda Plaza, is it actually that on this floor, this shop number and all that? So that's a team that comes to confirm all that, look into your books of accounts and see how you've been faring, confirm the figures you gave us vis-a-vis the records. Then if all that is done, and we can actually confirm that where we are is exactly where you rent, because I guess you should have a tenancy agreement or at least a rent receipt that shows us for the last 3-6 months you have been in that space. So that is what basically we look at. Then we will go back, put in a report on the system. You can even read on it. Then we do approve. Because when we approve, say, a tax type like VAT to be added on your TIN, then that means today is the 26th, then it will be effective on the 1st of the following month. Reason why we put it effective beginning of a month, VAT is a monthly tax type. We manage it on monthly basis. So it's unfortunate when we say it's effective 26th. Then how will you manage that month that is not full? So that is why we push you to the next month and we say it's effective 1st of that month, so that you can be running a clean calendar month for filing purposes and reporting purposes.
Well, very interesting how easy it is for you. But what are requirements from my side?
Requirements from your side, ideally, we need to know a fixed place of abode. That's where we need to find you. We need to look at some records that are pertaining your business, because as I had told you when you're applying, you've put in some figures for us. So we need to confirm them by the records that are available. Then
there I see problems.
Because you may tell me
the
that
number
you
of our business people, when it comes to records, they still have challenges.
Records, we don't want complicated records. I'm not looking at audited accounts. I'm looking at simple records that justify the sales you have put in for me, the purchases you have put in for me. So I am looking at these receipts that you do maintain, and that counter book, the way you're writing everything, so that at least I can sample some months and I confirm that actually what you have given me is close to what I'm seeing in your records. Because without records, you won't be able to manage your compliance. Because here I'm looking at VAT. Then how do you manage income tax? Because ideally, by the time I come to register you for VAT, you've already registered for taxes. It means you have a TIN and you are managing income tax. How do you manage it when you don't have records? Because in these records is where we get the details of what we are going to put in the return. They inform the type of return we are going to file. So it is a practice. And by the way, these records are even important before even the taxman comes. You want some financial assistance, say from a microfinance or from a bank. Ideally, they'll ask you, how does your business perform? What they're asking for is they need to look at the records and see how is your business performing in terms of sales and purchases. So if you don't have a culture of maintaining records, then that facility will go. At the end of the day, you'll have nothing. Because if you need the facility, then you are disadvantaging yourself. And secondly, I want you to pay the tax that you do understand. And it is governed by these records. That is where you get the details to file. Because whenever you pay a tax that does not relate to your business performance, at the end of the day, you may find yourself out of business. Because not everybody I register for taxes and I assign you a TIN is going to be paying every time, because business is not static, it's dynamic. Today you've made a profit, the other day you've made a loss. So that is why I want you to keep your records. So by the time you tell me I'm in a loss position, it can be justified in your records. I can even look at it and appreciate and say, my dear, today I think things did not move on well for my client. We need to be patient and see what will happen probably the following month or the following year, depending on which tax type we are trying to address.
Well, we are studying and understanding more value-added tax. And you're looking at the tax amendments for 2025-2026. I'm with Hafsa Seguya, who happens to be the Acting Supervisor, Tax Education, Uganda Revenue Authority. You need to pay tax, but like she said, she doesn't want you to pay tax you don't understand. So if we understand these things properly, then we'll appreciate even when paying for them. Now, allow me to go for a very short break. I return with my guest. Keep it on UBC.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
In a nation hungry for truth, a world where every story matters, there exists a beacon of trust and reliability. For decades, they've been our voice and our window to the world, holding the mirror of our history. With 4 TV stations and 11 radio channels spanning 27 languages, they stand as guardians of information, defenders of truth. With Mascari Heritage Advantage, they uphold every citizen's right to reliable and free information. Their archived stories shaped our past and illuminate our present. Yet now, as new challenges arise and the world evolves, their mission faces its greatest test yet. Be part of our journey and let's navigate the unknown, uncover the untold, and safeguard our future together. Tune into your public broadcaster, for it is the intersection of trust and truth. Because to UBC, your story, and every voice matters. UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Hello, Kampala, Uganda. In response to the national call of strengthening the traffic security, Good Products Group HGO brand has officially launched the Rider Selection Campaign. Registration is now open. Visit www.riders.hgo.com. Complete your registration now for a chance to win exciting prizes including motorcycles, exclusive HGO gift boxes, and official rider vests, all while promoting safe riding awareness. This is how to participate. Pay the registration fee, invite 3 friends to form a team of 4, and your registration fee will instantly be refunded. Begin your journey of honor today. Don't miss this opportunity. Join the challenge, promote road safety, and become a pioneer rider. For details, visit the official Good Products website at www.hgo.com or call toll-free 0800-335-555 or visit our offices at Kingdom Kampala 3rd floor to register now and win prizes worth millions.
This August, East Africa becomes the center of African football. CHAN 2024 is here, and it's bigger than ever. 3 proud nations, Kenya, Tanzania, and Uganda, united by football, passion, and power. From the first whistle to the final roar, 35 thrilling matches, live, only on UBC TV and radio stations. Wherever you are in Uganda, from the city to the village, UBC brings CHAN 2024 to your screen and your radio. August 2nd to August 30th, it's football like never before. 1 tournament, 1 region, 1 heartbeat. CHAN 2024, live on UBC. Feel the game, live the glory.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala. This is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
Welcome back from that break, and thank you for being with us on UBC TV. I'm Robert Chirabo Nyonito. That is in case you have just joined, and I have Hafswa Seguya, who is the Acting Supervisor, Tax Education, Uganda Revenue Authority. We are looking at the tax amendments for 2025-2026, and all that you need to know about VAT, value added tax, is what we are discussing. Now let's look at the tax amendments for financial year 2025-2026. What has changed for you to know, so that in case you're doing business, well, you're well versed with what the amendments, the VAT amendments are. Yes.
Thank you so much. We are looking at those trading in solar lanterns. In the previous year, the law was categorizing them as composite lanterns, whereby it was a little confusing because these lanterns are powered by solar. But they had many, they had the wiring, they had the batteries, they had the lighting. So at importation, because they're basically imported, we're getting issues when we were looking at what is exempt and what is not exempt. So we end up dismantling that unit, which was quite unfair. So now this year it's very clear, whatever we're regarding as composite lantern is going to be regarded as a solar lantern, and it is exempted from VAT.
Wow.
So at importation, you don't expect to pay the 18% on such a lantern as it comes in. Same applies, it works through even you who is going to handle that particular lantern in your shop. You're selling it, and when you're selling it, we don't expect you to add any VAT there because it has been exempted. Reason why, or the justification, is we want to make clean energy affordable to Ugandans, and whenever a tax is added, it makes it more expensive than probably the price that you would have got it on. So now it's very clear, solar lanterns, there is no VAT on them. They'll be in the third schedule where we have the exempted items moving forward. So this goes to those who import them and those who sell them locally here after you having gotten them from whoever imported them. Kindly, there is no VAT on such an item moving forward, and I guess the price would be a little affordable to those who ideally need it. Then we move on to billets. Ideally, we had billets last year. The billets were exempted. You'll ask me what are billets. Billets is a raw material that basically helps you or helps those in the steel industry to make steel items. Those are the iron sheets, those are the nails, whatever is in the steel arena. We were exempting the billets and the raw material steel that come with it, because we wanted them to be at least affordable. But in the event that now we can source billets within the country, so that means we have to have the Buy Uganda, Build Uganda. So we repealed the exemption on billets. They are no longer exempted, those that are being imported. So that is the difference, because we've realized that within the country there are entities that can produce the billets. So we want to protect the local industry. So whoever was importing it, you know that at importation it will no longer be exempted. It will walk through with the 18%, because ideally, if locally there is somebody or an entity that actually produces what you're bringing, then it's like we need to promote the local industry than supporting the other country where you are importing these ones from. So we basically move on, and there's a small correction that has been done in the agencies that are exempted from VAT. We have an agency that is the International Atomic Energy Agency. It was listed last year, but the difference is it was listed without the word energy. So we are just adding the energy word there to read International Atomic Energy Agency, and it's one of the agencies that are exempted for VAT and income tax at the same time. That is just for those who may be dealing with such an agency moving forward, to know that it's among those that are exempted for that. So as we still move on, we basically look at the supply of wet processing operations and garmenting. This is basically in the cotton link. We are trying to see that they are exempted. These kind of processes are exempted, and the raw materials that come with these processes are equally exempted. Reason: we need to support the growth of the textile industry so that it can be competitive in Uganda, because ideally there are some industries that are into that and they are placed in Uganda. So in order to protect them, we need to see that we exempt such entities. And maybe the other one is to exempt the supply of biomass pellets, and this is basically helping to still support the textile industry. Because as you support whatever pertains an industry, when you exempt it, we are trying to see that the cost of operation is low, and ultimately the product that is going to be produced would be affordable by Ugandans, so that we see that we can maybe reduce on the quantities of those items that have been imported, because they can easily be sourced within the country, because we have people who are investing in those areas. Then we'll still move on to the supply of aircraft. Ideally, this is not very common, because those who deal in aircrafts or invest in that sector are not many, but still what we are doing is we are trying to put it in the zero rate. Initially they were exempted, and when they are exempted means they don't even need to register for VAT because the VAT question won't come into play. But when we put them in the exempt, it means that they have expenses that they have incurred. We are trying to create a window for those who are in the aircraft industry so that they can apply for refunds on the expenses they have incurred that have VAT within themselves. So whenever we say we are zero rating, we are trying to support the aviation industry to reduce the acquisition costs and encourage investment in aircraft ownership, because you know that expenses you've incurred that have VAT, you will apply for a refund and we will refund you the VAT component. So at least it makes business a little calm when you're in that sector. So basically that is what I wanted people who are VAT registered to know moving forward, that effective 1st July, there were some amendments that were done in such a sector, so that you know, as you're dealing in that, you need to know that there's an amendment that goes through, so that you need to modify your system to provide for that amendment. Because by the way, with VAT, when we are preaching the IFRIS gospel, it has a relationship with the VAT tax type. That when you're operating on the VAT, on the IFRIS platform, the VAT tax type is equally, the lowers are placed there, so that when you touch a particular item, it gives you the right treatment. That is how it is. So you need to do less of work, because we have done most of the work in the systems that we have developed, so that we can create ease and a simpler journey to clients who are dealing in particular items that probably pick VAT at the end of the day.
Very informative information for you who is paying VAT. And remember now, like some of the items that were exempted, now you have to pay, and somewhere you were paying, you won't have to pay. For example, the solar lights. My only problem with this, of course I know you're not directly concerned about it, but you see, for us, the final consumer, we don't benefit from this. Ask me how. For example, the solar lights we've discussed. Let me tell you, Madam Hafswa, no trader is going to reduce the cost of something that was already high because URA has exempted that particular of VAT. If the solar lights were at 250, VAT inclusive definitely by then, now you've exempted VAT. They are not going to reduce. And you see, URA, they don't talk the good things about URA. That now, still the bottom person will have to incur the same cost, and this person will increase profits therefore. But it is what it is.
You know, business, it has some gymnastics, because the year has just started. When you come to, say, Mr. So-and-so's shop, the reason they might give you is nchatunda ku stock omukadde, whereby I had paid VAT, and therefore I have to recoup the cost that I incurred. You may not exactly know this is new stock or old stock, and as you know, business, it may be a little difficult, but as we are moving on to those who are a little faithful and want to maintain their client, they'll be very clear that this is old stock. But as I finished the old stock, effective this, I haven't paid VAT, so that is why these figures are a little lower than what you experienced probably the previous year. So definitely choosing where to buy from is a choice. Because there are suppliers who are trustworthy because they need to maintain their clients. But there are those who send I mean, they have to pay whatever it is. So choosing your client is your choice, because I won't be there. But the gymnastics are like that in business, whereby an amendment will favor some clients for a particular time, 1 to 3 months. Kati abantu webabuuka, then probably things will be normalized. So it also depends where you choose to purchase.
Where you choose to purchase, and remember now, this is a government initiative aiming at ensuring promote clean energy. So let's all love that. Bana yabali mu business. baba jeko VAT ate mwe temusasuza VAT ku bintu
and at the end of the day, solar would be yes, would be cheaper because I mean it is just the sun that is natural that is powering this particular gadget than saying I put it on hydroelectricity power, whereby a unit, whenever it goes up, I mean it is eating into your wallet. But as you attain the cost of this particular gadget and install it, it means you are basically reaping from it. Maybe it's just maintenance costs that I don't think will be very high. So at the end of the day, if it's clean energy, let us ensure that people get it so that we can reduce on what we are paying on the hydroelectricity power at the end of the day.
Well, we are still looking at VAT, value added tax, the amendments, therefore in 2025-2026 financial year. And now, Madam Hafswa, so far we'll talk about VAT. What are the compliance levels?
Ideally with VAT, funny enough, the compliance levels are not that bad. Ask me why.
Why?
Because as I initially told you in the introduction, most of our systems are on the digital platform. With VAT, the other development we did as an institution, we offer a pre-filled return to our client. We no longer want the client to labor to keep putting in figures here and there, cancelling them. He doesn't remember what happened here. The fact that you are VAT registered and you can operate on the IFRIS platform 100%. Leave the work of filling this return for me, URA. Because as you're on the IFRIS platform, invoicing your client, at the end of it, when you submit that invoice, I get that same invoice and I populate it under your input, your output, that is your sale. And when you go to purchase, most so if you're VAT registered, ensure that at least purchase from somebody who is on the IFRIS platform, because it is easy for me to track that kind of expense. Because when one is registered for IFRIS, I will see that transaction because I manage the IFRIS system centrally. When I see the transaction at the end of it, I'll equally place it under your input VAT because it is an expense or it is a purchase. So at the end of the month, this return is complete. Even though you're importing, after clearing the import, paying the taxes, and your clearing agent exits this entry in the system, it will physicalize and cause a physical document number, that's an FDN. I will pick that, my system picks that and posts it under your expenses because you have paid VAT there at clearing your inputs. So at the end of the day, I'm simplifying your compliance journey. When I pre-fill this return for you, your work is very simple. On the 30th day of the month or on the last day of every month, by midnight, I am done with populating. That means on the first, kindly log on. As I said, log on our platform on www.ura.go.ug. That is our web portal. Go in the right-hand corner, look for login. Once you click on it, it will cause a pop-up window where you're going to put your login credentials for me, where I ask for a login ID, that is your TIN. When I say your password, that is your secret password for your account or your TIN. Once you're in your account, you just look for where there is return. On the left-hand side, returns. When you put the cursor there without even clicking, it will cause many returns. Then click on VAT. It will bring the VAT, then the period, you'll indicate which period, 1st of, for example, July to 31st July. By now that return is already auto-populated. Its filing date was the 15th. What I expect you to do when you're there, kindly go through all the sheets of that return so that you can own the figures that I populated there. If you are comfortable with them and you do agree, your work is to only click the submit button. Then that return comes to us. Reason why, because you may ask me, since you populate it, why don't you submit it for the client? We do not want to submit for a client. We want this client to own the figures we put in the template so that he can submit. In case he's uncomfortable, then he gets to us that I don't understand this figure you populated. Then we explain where it came from. You transacted here, or somebody transacted with your TIN, and this is why we are posting it here. So that at the end of the day, you have all the transactions that will generate the output VAT and the input VAT. So we'll look at those scenarios and see, is it a payment return? Because if your output VAT, that is on your sales, exceeds the input VAT on your expenses or purchases, then the difference is what we call a payable. That's when you pay us. But when your input VAT, that's the VAT on your expenses or purchases, exceeds the VAT on your sales, that's the output, then the difference, if the difference is a claimable on your side. If it does not exceed 10 million, we advise you kindly carry it forward to the following month. It is a credit on your side, which credit will help you reduce the payment in case there will be a payment the following month. So that is how we manage the tax type called VAT. But if that difference exceeds 10 million, we give you a leeway to take cash refund so that you make an application of a refund within that return that you're going to submit. So when it reaches us its side, we critically look at what has caused the refund, that difference of 10 million, more than 10 million you're claiming, so that we address it. And if we address it and everything is well, we are meant to wire the 10 million on your bank account. That is the account you gave us when you were registering 14. That's the account for your entity. We wire that amount of money. At the end of the day, when we are done with that refund audit, scrutinizing that actually that refund is the right figure that you need to get back. It is the excess that you probably incurred. So that is how we manage the tax type called VAT, and we do it on a monthly basis because VAT is a monthly tax type that we expect you to manage and file by the 15th, because filing even later than 15th will pick a penalty. And sincerely, it would be absurd for you to wait and file after 15th. And we impose the penalty of 200,000. Yet I pre-filled the return for you. Your work is just to log in, confirm the figures on each of these sheets. Then when you confirm, you submit. But sincerely, even that action that doesn't take more than an hour, when somebody is looking at the templates and confirming, people still, at times some are reluctant in filing on time.
Oh, they
you
don't
find
understand
somebody
these things. How to file and all that.
But now it's no longer filling in. I have filled in everything for you. Your work is going there, looking at the figures I have put and agreeing with them that actually these were my sales. When I check my side, this is exactly what I see. The import that I did, I have seen it has been captured. The expenses I incurred, they are here. Because the beauty in it is whatever is done on IFRIS, we can populate. But the other problem clients get or challenge is when they are purchasing, they do not insist on getting an e-invoice or an e-receipt. So when they do it outside the IFRIS arrangement, I cannot pick it from anywhere. I can't see it. Yet you have expensed money. So that is where we have a challenge. So we encourage our clients at least purchase from somebody who is IFRIS registered. Because somebody may not be VAT registered, but they are IFRIS registered. That is also okay, and it is possible. So that at the end of the day, you're working within the IFRIS application, where I can see what they have, what you have expensed, and I just pick the figures and populate them. Because whenever you are denied that expense to be captured here, then the payable will be high. Yet if the expense comes and it had VAT, it is going to reduce on what is meant to be payable in that particular month. So basically that is how we manage VAT on a monthly basis at the end of the day. And when you change business, you are VAT registered, and you change business to probably an item that is not VATable, then at the end of the day, we may end up deactivating the VAT. Ask me, if somebody was dealing in events management, ideally that service is VATable, and I expect you to be VAT registered once you attain the threshold we talked about. But when you change and at the end of the day, you say, I'm no longer in event management, I'm just selling my fresh flowers there, then you are not dealing in a taxable item. So I need to come and probably deregister or deactivate the VAT so that we remove it from your tin. Because the items you're dealing in don't pick VAT. That is also there. So our viewers need to know that VAT is not casting stone. When you cease to deal in a taxable item, kindly get back to us and we advise you on how you can, probably how we can deactivate the VAT moving forward, because you are not going to pick VAT from anybody if you have ceased dealing in taxable items. You're only dealing in exempt, then there is no VAT you're going to pick. So thank you so much for listening to us. But basically, VAT is a wide tax type, but tusunako busunye, because we need to take it in smaller bits so that we can understand it. But if I'm to speak here and I speak for 3 hours, at the end of the day you'll even get confused. But we bring bits and pieces.
Well, how can they reach out to you, to URA?
Reaching out to URA, you can use the toll-free lines. That's 0800 11 7000, 0800 21 7000. You can even WhatsApp us on 772 14 code 0. You can send us an email on services@ura.go.ug. We are on Facebook, we are on Twitter. Kindly get to us and we learn together. We solve the challenges that you feel into your business so that you can have a smooth ride in your business as you're compliant with your taxes and as we build Uganda together.
Well, thank you so much. My guest this morning, Madam Hafswa Seguya from Uganda Revenue Authority, who happens to be the acting supervisor tax education at the URA. And of course, we've been looking at the tax amendment 2025-2026 VAT. What you need to know, I just want to thank you so much for being with us all the way from 6:30 till now. We do appreciate that. But of course, please do your noble cause as a citizen, pay the tax that you're supposed to pay, and let's demand for services because we pay our tax. And those receiving our tax, not URA, because for them they just collect. But please, Ugandans want to pay tax, but they want value for the tax they pay. Have the best of your day. May the good Lord bless you. See you tomorrow.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra.